Abigail, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about Pierrot Lunaire, which was composed in 1912 by Arnold Schoenberg. And this is my assistant, Stephen. He'll be giving us some visual displays about the terms we talk about today. So I guess I'll just jump right into it. I guess I'm going to talk about musical elements first. So the first one I'm going to talk about is this piece has a contrapuntal texture. So go ahead and show them that. This is the word. And so this texture is a subgroup of polyphonic texture that says all the voices in the piece. So in this case, it would be the violin slash the viola, the cello, the flute slash the piccolo, the clarinet slash the bass clarinet, and the piano all play different melodies. So when you really hone in to every single voice in this song, you can all tell that they're playing a different melody. And as a result, this kind of takes me into my next musical element, melody. The contrapuntal texture kind of results in a very dissonant melody. All the pitches sound very discordant and unstable throughout the entire piece. And another component of the melody I want to talk about was this thing called Sprechstimme. And this is when the singer speaks the pitches rather than singing them. So if you kind of listen in the song, the woman who's singing, it almost sounds like she's speaking things rather than singing them, especially at the end of each word she's singing, or speaking in this case. And then the last musical element I'm going to talk about today is form. The form of this piece is rondeau form, and that's kind of like this poetic form, which means that the music is repeated 3 times in the song. And so if you kind of listen to the song, you'll see that there are 3 refrains, and each time a new one begins, it plays the same music as the last. So that's all I have for musical elements. For historical context, I have some things to talk about. So Arnold Schoenberg music was primarily in the 20th century, and he was kind of part of this movement called modernism. And modernism is a response to romanticism that broke away from traditional methods of representation and explored forms of expression better suited to the new experience of time and space. And kind of within that movement was another thing called expressionism. And these were all a response to romanticism kind of drifting away from that. Expressionism is, it emphasized art's ability to communicate or express emotions, which were often strong and intense ones, by distorting reality in accordance with the subjective and unconscious vision of the individual artist. And so Schoenberg was like super into these movements, and his music really reflected that. He kind of used certain musical elements in order to reflect these strong, intense, and unconscious, and honestly, perhaps at times socially unacceptable feelings that represent the concept of expressionism. So this is to say that the unacceptable musical elements that he uses in his piece that people tend to dislike or drift away from, such as dissonance or contrapuntal texture, reflect the goal of expressionism, which is to express unconscious and intense emotions. Also, there is like this dissonant music that also reflects the distorted reality that expressionism tries to convey. And so that's kind of all for the historical context. And then my last thing is in relation with today's music. This piece, Pierrot Lunaire, really reminded me of a piece we studied last semester called Mr. Tambourine Man that was composed by John Corigliano, I think is how you say his last name. And that was produced in 2003. And that really reminded me of this music because they were both really disjunct, really dissonant sounding pieces. And I thought it was really interesting that even though they're almost 100 years apart, both of them kind of seem to be conveyed within this expressionism movement because they really try to both express those kind of socially unacceptable or unconscious feelings through using really abstract music. So yeah, thanks guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed.